right, so how's everybody doing? I think I'm about a minute prior to going live at 11 o'clock. So hope everybody's doing well. I'm just going to give it a few minutes while a few more people can jump on. All right, so I hope everybody's doing well. This is Paint with Lovejoy, and this is actually my first live painting demonstration. I live in San Diego, close to the airport, so I don't usually do the live videos just because the airport or the airplanes will be going overhead. So to kind of compensate for that, as we hear the airplane go overhead, we're probably just going to take a deep breath and relax. So seeing a few more people jump on. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Paint with Lovejoy. And I will be going through a rather simple step-by-step painting that you can follow along at home, or you can re-watch the video and kind of paint along with that as well. So again, I hope everybody's doing well. I am shooting from my phone, so I'm going to try to lean in and look at your comments, and I will address them through the video. But I know we've got a lot of crazy stuff going on. I am in California, and we are on stay at home to kind of combat this virus. So like I said, one of my things to help you at home is to do some live painting. And I do have a full online school, paintwithlovejoy.com, with plenty of free lessons, $2 lessons, and some monthly classes. So hopefully you can check those out and do something a little bit creative while you have this time at home. So I do want to go ahead and get started painting. Even in my studio classes, I don't usually wait too long after the start time to get going. If you would like to paint at home with me, you can, actually I'll be using paint, but if you have colored pencils, crayons, watercolors, you can use anything that you have at home to paint along and use the same colors. We will be going from light colors to dark colors. So those of you that are painting, I have 3 brushes that I'm using. I have one wide flat brush that I'll use for the background, and then likely I'll move into the small pointy brush as we get into the details. And we are gonna do kind of a sunset background, and we'll put a black palm tree on top of there. That actually happens to be one of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel. So I figured it was a good place to start. I do have my colors of paint, and I have just about every color on here except for green and purple. And as I go through painting the background, you are more than welcome to switch out any colors. If you want more blues or reds or yellows compared to what I use, go ahead and switch out what you need. This is your painting. We're going to turn it into what you want. And more importantly, the process of painting is really therapeutic today. So once we kind of get going and you're just moving the brush on the canvas, it's really nice. So let's go ahead. I hear the plane coming through. Let's just take a big, deep breath and let it out. If you need to do that multiple times throughout the painting, go right ahead. And I'll do my best to kind of remind you to paint. So hopefully everybody can hear me. I think I've got the mic going. If you can't hear me, somebody just throw up a comment saying that we can hear you. But I'm going to go ahead and get started painting. Oh, and I do have water with paper towel to wipe my brush off. So I'm going to start with the large flat brush, and we're going to make a really light lemony yellow color. So as you're mixing, you always want to start with your lightest color first and then add a little bit of your darker color. Cool, thanks for the comments. Glad you guys can hear it. So again, put a little bit of water on your brush. You never want it dripping wet. And I'm going to pull a little bit of that white aside and add just a small amount of the yellow to it. And you may have a different shade at home. That's totally okay. But we're going to start with our light yellow. Then we're going to work a little bit darker to yellow, then yellow orange, maybe add a little bit of red to it, and just kind of keep it going from there. So, all right, so you're going to grab your lemony yellow color. And I do, if you're one of my first time painters, and that's generally who I teach, I do want you to apply your paint a little bit thicker than you may be comfortable with, because then that gives you a little bit more workability as we do some blending. And as we hear the plane come over. So everybody just take another deep breath. Just relax. It's going to be okay. All right, so as we're painting the background, there's 3 brush strokes I want you to try as we paint the background. And whichever one that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with, or whichever one's a little more stress relieving for you, stick with that one as we fill up the background. So first brush stroke, you can kind of use the full width of the brush, and it covers about 1 inch in space, kind of boring. You can, next brush stroke to try is turn it sideways. Creates a little bit of a skinnier line, and you'll see me use that in some of my other paintings. And then the other one, and most stress relieving one to do, is literally make X marks. And that's the one I'm going to be using today. So anything that has frustrated you or stressed you out this week, throw it into your painting and into the background. All right, so again, we're starting with our light lemony yellow color, making those X marks, taking all that frustration and stress and craziness of having to stay home, take it out on your canvas. And you do want to go all the way to the bottom. And if you are painting on a stretched canvas, carry that color over the sides and even the bottom. You can turn your canvas sideways in the easel to paint the bottom and then put it back right side up. And again, remember to just breathe and relax. It's just painting. It's not the end of the world. All right. So at this point, we just kind of have like a weird abstract shape going. I'm going to carry it a little bit through the top so that way we have a little bit more of this color showing. And maybe trying a different brush stroke just to kind of get a feel for it. And if you are familiar with some of my other videos, you know that I encourage you to take progress photos as we paint. So this would be a good place to take your progress photo. And we're going to be adding more of the straight yellow. And you can see I'm going to grab the yellow, and I am going to be overlapping the color that I just placed on top of there. And what you're going to notice is as I place that color on top of there and a little bit on the regular canvas, you can kind of do what we call wet on wet blending, to where you're going to mix a little bit of this new color in with your first color. And this can only be done while your canvas is wet, or while your paint is wet. And at this point in my classes, I usually recommend, if you want to finger paint to do some of your blending, go for it. It's actually quite nice and tactile to get your fingers dirty, go back to being a kid. As the plane passes, take a deep breath. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your support. All right, as we wait for the plane. Again, just a good place to pause and take a deep breath. And with current circumstances right now, I think we're going to be doing a lot of that. Just a lot of deep breathing as we all find our way through this craziness. So again, I've added a little bit of yellow. It may be a little hard to tell at home where the light yellow and the darker yellow, there's a difference. If it's a little bit more obvious in your painting, totally okay. I am going to add a bit of orange to my yellow and white mixture. So again, just grabbing a small amount of my orange, mixing it right on top of my yellow and white mixture, and you notice it becomes like a really light pastel sherbety color. There we go. I think you guys can kind of see it on there. And again, doing the exact same thing, just slightly going, overlapping some of that yellow color. I'm going to add a touch more orange to mine, and continuing to grow the space as we fill up the canvas. And right now you're actually a abstract painter until we get our silhouette design on there. And like I said, I'll be painting a palm tree for you guys. But if you want to do a different silhouette of a regular tree or something else, you are more than welcome to switch it up. All right. And just kind of growing that space. If you want some of this color somewhere else, just paint right on top of your other color. Let's see if I can adjust this and get rid of some of that glare. There we go. All right. And believe it or not, this is one of my first live videos. I started my Paint with Lovejoy channel probably about 2 years ago, and was very, very uncomfortable to be in front of the camera. I still am very uncomfortable to be in front of the camera. But to get by in this world, you do actually have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. So if I can push myself out of my comfort zone and do something, so can you. So painting at home may be scary at the beginning, but it does get a lot easier the more that you do it. And plane going over, take a deep breath. There we go. And smile. We need more smiles right now happening in the world. We do have many things to be grateful for. We are coming together as a community, as a world, and it's kind of exciting, but also very scary at the same time. All right, so now I'm actually gonna grab a little bit more of the direct orange and overlap the colors I was just working on. And again, your orange may be a little bit darker or lighter than what I'm choosing to use. That is okay. The important thing right now is just the fact that you're actually painting and maybe not watching the news. So if you have the news on, I do recommend turning it off so that way you can focus on the painting and just kind of zone out into the movement and the process of painting. All right. And I'm going to be carrying this into something a little bit darker as we reach the top of the canvas. And again, it's nice to finger paint, so go right ahead. Do a little bit of blending. If you are finding that maybe your colors are drying out a little bit faster than you're able to blend them, you can grab one of your other kind of clean brushes, add a little bit of water to it. You never want it dripping wet with water. And add a touch of water and light pressure, you can blend where the two colors meet. But you also want to do this kind of sparingly because you don't want too much water on there and you don't want a drip to kind of run all the way down. If you end up getting a drip that runs all the way down, it's just going to cut through the paint and go right back to your canvas. So the more and more that you paint, you kind of pick up little tricks and things of how your comfort of painting and how you're going to improve your skills. So as we move into the top, I'm actually going to be mixing a little bit of orange and red. And a little bit of red goes a long way with the orange. So start off with a small amount. So here we go, just grabbing just a little bit, mixing it with the orange. And I do kind of like that nice burnt orange color, but get it to the desired liking or shade that you want to work with. Because again, we're having kind of our light colors on the bottom, getting really dark and intense as we get towards the top of the canvas. And again, overlapping some of that original color that you're going around to do your wet on wet blending. And we have another plane going overhead, so another place to just take a deep breath, relax. And again, if you don't have paint at home, you can do this with colored pencils, you can do it with watercolors, you can do it with crayons. Like I said, it doesn't matter what your tool is, just go through the process of being creative and of painting. All right. And at this point for me, I do have most of my canvas space filled in, and I'm going to go back and just kind of play with the areas and add a few more colors, do a little bit more blending right here. But you do want to get your background to where you want it before you move into the silhouette design. And we will practice our silhouette a little bit on a piece of paper while our paint is drying, and then we'll go back to the canvas. And it must be high traffic at the airport right now because we have another plane going overhead. So another opportunity to just, again, take a deep breath. Just relax. So I am going back to kind of my sherbety orange color to do a little bit of that blending right there where my reddish orange overlapped my lighter orange colors. I am using very light pressure and just kind of the tips of the brush and moving it back and forth. The more that you paint, the more comfortable that you'll get with the pressure of your brush as well as mixing your colors. And like I said earlier, I teach primarily first time and beginner painters. I consider myself an adult kindergarten teacher. because I do counter a lot of bad elementary school experiences that a lot of my adults had, and just get you to the point where it's like, hey, that wasn't bad, that was kind of fun. And the more that you can avoid the news, but not stare into your electronics so much, aside from watching this video, the healthier and the happier you're going to be. And again, another plane. Take a deep breath. Now you guys see why I haven't done the live videos before. But I do feel like in this time frame right now, with the pandemic and the virus and the isolation and the social distancing and the cities and towns shutting down, I felt very, very compelled that I needed to get something out here, be very proactive, and if anything, giving you guys a smiling face to look at, something creative to do, something to do while you're at home, and really just trying to survive as a small business and artist. It's certainly kind of crazy out there. So thank you so much for joining me today and checking out the website and the videos. All right, and if you're feeling like maybe you want to pull some of that color down your canvas, go right ahead. And as you're painting, I'm going to encourage that you actually get out of your chair, walk about 4 to 5 feet away, and look at your painting from a distance. It looks entirely different from that distance compared to 2 feet in front of your face. So kind of get in that habit as you do something creative to look at it from that distance. About 10 to 20 feet away is the normal viewing distance for most things in life. And one of my favorite jokes at this point is everything in life, people, places, artwork, cities, all look better from a distance. There's no avoiding it. So as you're beginning your journey of painting at home or of just starting your journey of painting, keep that in mind, and be nice to yourself, be kind. All right. And again, if you want to go back to your lighter color to do a little bit of blending in there, go right ahead. We will be putting a palm tree on this after it dries for a few minutes. And again, if you get to catch this on the replay, give it a thumbs up, subscribe and like the channel, check out my online school. Give me suggestions of what you'd like me to paint in the future, what you want me to paint tomorrow. Likely on my Instagram, I'll do a little survey and see what people would like me to paint subject-wise tomorrow. So feel free to jump over and let me know what you want. All right. So we're going to give this a little bit of time to dry. I'm going to throw a little more yellow on there. There we go. And if yours at home starts to kind of change and maybe your dark color is creeping into your lighter color, that's okay. Just kind of embrace wherever you may be painting today, because that's where you're at for today. If you paint tomorrow, it may be a different style. You'll feel a little bit different. Your emotional context will be a little bit different. But painting is adjusted daily, kind of like yoga. All right. There we go. And if you do need to grab one of the smaller brushes, go right ahead and do that. Grab a little bit more white. There we go. All right. And it looks okay kind of on the screen. We're getting there. It's kind of odd looking at it on my phone. So I'm working on getting my laptop and every webcam and everything set up. So. All right. So while we let that dry, we're going to practice our palm tree design. So I'm going to put up a scrap sheet of paper. We will use the brush and black paint. And at home, I want you to draw your palm tree 2 or 3 times. Draw it on the back of the paper, on the front, draw it in different sizes. The more that you practice your palm tree, the better you get at it. So like I said, I'm going to move this over while it dries. We can throw our paper up there. And always have paint on my hands. All right, so for our palm tree, we're going to start with the small pointy brush and black paint. You can add a touch of water to your paint, but again, you never want it dripping wet with water. And a little bit of water on your brush when you pick up your paint will help give you a little bit more fluidity. But if you already are using kind of runny paint, don't add any water. All right. And again, the pressure of your brush makes a difference on your lines. So light pressure is going to give you kind of a skinny line. So we have light pressure, and then a little bit more pressure is going to create a wider line. So just play with it. With practice and patience, really, you do get better as you get better brush control with more practice. All right, so for my palm trees, I break them down into really simple steps. You're gonna imagine that it's going off the edge of the canvas, or we have a ground on the bottom, and likely we'll put a ground on there. But when we get into the palm trees, wherever you want your palm tree to start, that's where I usually put my brush, and then I allow kind of gravity to just pull my hand down. And then that's gonna be the base of the trunk. Again, we're imagining that maybe this is our ground at the bottom. And as I did that, if you noticed, I did put my pinky out and put that on there. Oops, there we go. I think we can see it now. Put my pinky out and use that as a pivot point and a way to kind of stabilize my hand. You can also rest your forearm against the table. So again, going back to the palm tree, we have our tree trunk on there. And for the first two palm fronds, I want the first two to kind of hug towards the shape of the palm tree, or towards the palm tree trunk. So again, going back to where we started, we're going to kind of curve that first palm frond down, and then go to the other side, and again curve that almost as if it's hugging the trunk of the palm tree. From there, we're going to add a few more palm fronds, and again starting in the center, working our way out. And then I usually like them odd numbers, so I usually try to put 5 on there. And again, another plane. Take a big, deep breath. It's okay to laugh at me. I'm laughing at myself on the inside. So anything we can do to kind of just take your mind off of current circumstances. And painting is awesome for that. Okay, so we have kind of our structure, our skeleton of our palm tree on here. Now we have to add our foliage, our leaves. And we're going to be making little dash marks. And I want you to imagine each dash mark is a leaf on the palm frond. And we want to have really healthy trees here, so we want to put a lot of little leaves on our palm tree. So we're going to start with one, and I'll work my way around. And again, this is where you can kind of play with the pressure of your brush. So I start at the branch, and we're going to just make these little dash marks coming all the way off the palm tree. And I do want you overlapping the dash marks. All right, and we are doing it on both sides, and I'm actually trying to look at the comments, sorry. This is a learning curve for me as well. All right, and again, overlap those dash marks or leaves. You do want to have a very healthy palm tree. And though this looks kind of weird, kind of freaky, not too cool like a palm tree, I want you to do all the palm fronds before you judge your palm tree. And when you judge your palm tree, please be nice. Just when you're judging yourself, please be nice. We have enough shit going on. We have enough things going on right now that we need happier people. We need happier thoughts. So again, be kind to your palm tree as you're filling out your palm tree. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other 4 palm fronds, and just take a note of what it looks like right now compared to after I add all the leaves on there. So again, using that light pressure, overlapping my brush strokes, making little dash marks, 1 dash mark for each leaf on the palm tree. Remember to breathe. This is where a lot of my students hold your breath. And I've found that if you exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, it makes you a little less shaky. So again, if you need to exhale and then start making your brush strokes, it'll be a little bit easier for you. And I do live in Southern California, so I get to look at a lot of palm trees all the time, every day. And palm trees come in so many different shapes, sizes, directions. Some of them dance in the wind. So again, do not judge your palm tree that you're painting. And Maybe your palm tree is dancing in the wind. Maybe it's leaning a certain direction. That's okay. It does get better the more that you paint. All right, remember to exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas. Get your last little palm frond on there. And as you're looking at it, if you're seeing kind of a dead space, maybe an empty space where a few more leaves should go ahead and do that. Add those extra leaves. Painting is a big conversation with yourself, the canvas, and the brush. And it's an ever-evolving conversation. Your brain, especially for my first-time painters, your brain and your muscles are taking on a lot and absorbing a lot of information. So after the first time that you paint, when you go to paint a second or third time, it's a little bit easier, it makes a little bit more sense, and this is one of those things that you just compound your knowledge. You're going to build on your skills from prior. All right, perfect timing for another plane. Take a deep breath. I'm going to switch back to the canvas. And I have learned from doing the YouTube videos that I have to make sure it's secured so it doesn't move while I'm filming. So I am very, very grateful for the last couple of years of getting comfortable with being in front of the camera, with painting, that I've actually developed a pretty good library of courses and painting options on my website and here on my YouTube page. All right, so going back to our main canvas, I'm actually going to use the middle flat brush, or you can use your big flat brush. We're going to put that ground on there. And I don't actually like it straight across, so I'm going to make it kind of rolling hills. So if you want your medium brush or your pointy brush, you're going to start on the left-hand side, maybe about 3 or 4 inches up from the bottom, place a little line right there. Then we're going to go to the other side, again, 2 or 3 inches up from the bottom, place another little dot. They don't have to be in line, as you can see that these are a little bit staggered. And then pick one line, you're going to start from it, and then just curve it to meet the other line. Then you're going to take your black paint, and from that line, fill in your black paint all the way to the bottom. And you are painting on top of what was your background in the beginning. And here again, since we are just filling it in, slap that paint on there, slap that brush on that canvas, take out your frustrations, everything that's pissed you off this week, just slap it on there. I charge a little bit more to solve your problems, and I can't guarantee that I'll solve it, but I can at least make you feel a little bit better about the process when you come and paint with me. And I'll at least get you to kind of forget about your current stresses and struggles while you're painting. And that is generally the best reason to paint, just escape from our current reality right now. And that's something we could all use. All right, and as you can see, I am applying my paint pretty thick to get good coverage. If your background is still wet and it's picking up and moving with that black paint, just apply your black paint a little bit thicker, or you can apply a second coat after it dries. All right, and I realize I'm actually mimicking my most popular painting on my YouTube channel, is the easiest painting for a first-time painter. So this will just give a slight variation because it's more just sunset yellow colors. So now we're going to move back into the palm tree, and you can put as many or as few palm trees as you want on your canvas. So totally your call. I generally recommend that you do one, go through all the steps, and then add your other ones as needed. So again, where I want my palm tree to end, I'm going to put my brush there and then allow gravity to just pull my hand straight back down to the ground. And I'm not sure if you can see it at home, but I do have a few little blank spots, so just going over it one more time with the black paint to fill in those little grooves. And then we're going to put the palm fronds on there and then the leaves. So I am sticking with that middle flat brush. If you want to move back down to your pointy brush, you are more than welcome to do that. Putting the first arms of the palm fronds on there, starting at the center and bringing it back so it hugs towards the trunk of the palm tree. Same on the other side. Looks kind of weird right now. That's okay. And then we're going to add the other ones. And like I said, I do like to keep stuff kind of in odd numbers, something that stuck with me in art school. And I'm going to move back to that pointy brush so I can do the leaves on the palm tree. And again, oh good, thanks for sharing. Appreciate that. All right, so now adding the leaves on there. Again, light pressure. If you have some fat leaves and some skinny leaves, that's okay. It's part of life. And again, remember to do all your palm fronds before you start judging your palm tree, whether you like or dislike it. Again, remember to breathe. It is not to your benefit to hold your breath as you're doing these brush strokes. And if you need to exhale as the brush touches the canvas, that will help you in your process. It does help if you smile at your painting at the same time too. And even if it just makes you laugh, that's what we're here for today. All right. Doing good. Don't judge your palm tree. Don't judge my palm tree. They're kind of scared in San Diego right now too. All right, again, remember if you need to add a touch of water to your paint to make it a little bit more fluid to get some of those little wispy lines, go ahead and do that. And you may notice that maybe your brush strokes are getting a little bit whiter after 4 or 5 brush strokes. Look at your brush, and if you've got a lot of buildup on your brush, wipe it off, and then that will bring the bristles back together to make that smaller point. So feel free to kind of just adjust as you're going through the process and getting comfortable with the tools. And again, hopefully right now you're just so focused on either this video or what you're painting, and you're kind of forgetting about the news and the rest of the world and just the craziness going on right now. All right. Very healthy, very luxurious palm tree here. There we go. And again, like that last one, if you can see a lot of space in between your leaves, just fill it up, make it very abundant, and add more. And on a side note, I'm watching it sideways and trying to look at what's on the screen right there on my phone to see if I filled up in enough space. All right, so not bad. And I think just for the sake of it, we're gonna add one more tiny little palm tree here, and it will be smaller, so this is where you can practice more of that lighter pressure. Again, starting with the base, the trunk, pulling it down. Palm frond that hugs the base. And if you wanted, you could actually stop here for the smaller palm trees. I'm going to add the leaves, but like I said, if you wanted to, this would suffice for a palm tree pretty much far off in the distance. But now just moving into those little dots or little dash marks, filling out my palm tree, making sure he's really healthy, making sure I'm breathing, making sure I'm smiling and laughing. This is what you should be doing at home. Relax. And I do encourage that if you paint this, if you do it on the replay or you're painting it right now, please email me a picture of what you paint. And my email is paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. You can also send it to any of my social media, send it to me here on YouTube, Instagram @paintwithlovejoy. But I do like to see what you guys are doing. And with your permission, I would like to post those on social media to encourage other people to paint. With me being an artist and an art teacher already, a lot of people don't believe me that I can teach them to paint. But when you tell them that you went through one of my classes or you went through one of my videos and you did a great job, you had fun, you forgot about the world for a little bit, that encourages them to paint as well. And again, with our current circumstances, we can't have enough positive and creative outlets right now for the public to be going through. So please share this video, share my online school, share my YouTube channel, share your paintings with people. We are all in this together, and we all have to get through it together. All right, so a few final things. If you want some birds in your sky, and I do recommend you doing all your birds in the same style. I'm gonna do 2 or 3 styles just so that way you can have options at home. So if you'd like some birds in the sky, I do recommend it, you know, kind of in the lighter area. So let's do one right here. You could do just kind of a curved M shape for your bird. Or if you want to make, let's do it back over here. You make a V and then give your V wings. Grab a little more paint. So your call, how you want to make your birds. And again, you can practice on your scrap sheet of paper. If you want to add something else in your background, if you want a sailboat in there, if you want somebody climbing the tree, you want a Buddha sitting here or a dog, please make this painting your own and add what you want to your painting. Just the fact that you actually are painting, that is the best part about the process. So I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I am going to try to do this pretty much every day at 11 a.m. just to give you an outlet, a resource to try. On my Instagram, I will actually put up a little questionnaire of what you want me to paint tomorrow. And I will do that every day, so that way I'm actually painting more of what you want to see and adding that to my collection instead of just kind of coming up with whatever I think I want to paint. So let me know your feedback, leave any comments, any questions at all, and I look forward to hanging out with you guys tomorrow. So have a great day. Cheers. Now we got to figure out how to turn it off. Bye. Thanks so much for checking it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow.